Friends, this game has gotten a lot of critique. This game is, as I'm writing this review on the 30th of December, sitting on a mixed review over at Steam. And to summarize the negative reviews, they go something like this. The platforming is very unforgiving. People claim that you need to be pixel perfect to actually grab onto a ledge. The movement feels super clunky. The controls, they're unresponsive and doesn't feel good at all, and the performance is whack. It is all over the place. And the game is just full of meaningless fillers to drag out the length of the game. Now on the 20th of December, the developer dropped a patch addressing most of these things. Just as an example, the combat and movement should now be a lot more responsive, and performance-wise, the game runs for the most part at a stable 90 frames per second on the Steam Deck. And that is to say that this is one gorgeous looking game with a lot of details and technical tricks going on at all time. Oh fucking hell, that scared the mother living crap out of me again. And now to my experience with the game. But before that, my name is Slim Bratsky and I love to hunt down the most brutal and best indie games out there and show them to you. So remember, if you like what you see today, hit that like and subscribe, and while you're at it, join the Discord link down in the description. It will mean the world to me, and I will bring you value in the world of indie video games, trust me. Now, on the 29th of December, I decided that it was finally time to stream this game. I wanted to see if the negative reviews were right, or if the game could actually live up to the hype that it got before it released. And broskis, my freaking gosh, this game is pixel freaking perfect. It starts us off with a narrative intro, setting the mood and letting us know that the undead is about to hit us hard in the face, and it's up to us to stop them from wiping out the entire world. In fact, we are the only one who can stop them. Oh my god, I just want to eat that cat up. Quite a simple story, very easy to follow along with, that is told through absolute beautiful cutscenes, great voice acting, and some environmental storytelling. It's not a story that you're going to remember for years to come, but it is a story that adds depth to the game, that immerses you more into the experience and gives you a reason to watch the beautiful cutscenes. And when it comes to this game's beauty, I mean, this game is a work of artistic perfection. All the way down to the smallest of details to the stop motion animations are just incredible. So every scene that you encounter in this side-scrolling action game changes up the lighting, it changes how the camera is angled, aimed, zoomed in and all that thing. I mean, to put it in perspective, one scene might be engulfed in flames, while the other has you crawling through a dark cave, and the third might be in a fantasy-like realm where the trees glow brighter than the sun. While in the fourth scene, you only see the outlines of the characters because it's pitch black. It's beautiful, it's exciting, it's everything at the same time. Every time I hit a loading screen, an excitement started to build up inside of me because I became excited to see what kind of magical scene my eyes were going to feast upon next. And I mean, being good at artistic stuff, that's one thing, and the developers, well, they clearly are that here. But then making the graphics actually good is another thing, and overall it looks phenomenal. The animations are a tad bit stiff, and all the characters, they look a bit more shiny than they actually should, but other than that, it's damn near perfect with its lighting, loads of high detailed props everywhere, and beautiful environments in the background. And this is of course amped up by the game's very samurai-ish but also moody music throughout the game, switching it up to fit perfect for the right scene that you're playing in. And after graphics comes gameplay. I'm kidding, always gameplay first, but in this video, for some reason, I wanted to talk about the beautiful graphics before the gameplay, okay? Now, on to the gameplay. So this being a side-scroller, each stage of the game feels like walking from one side to the next in a huge panoramic decoration thingy thing. But in between the walking, there might be some platforming, there might be some enemies, and hell, there might even be some secrets to find with loot for you to steal. I mean, yeah, we are technically stealing loot from our fellow townsfolk in this video game. It's a bit odd, but I mean, it's a video game. Now the combat, I would say, is semi-deep. You have easy to remember combos that you can do, and as we go, we can unlock new combos. But you can never activate more than a set amount of them. You have to pick and choose which ones to be activated, and honestly, that is a good thing. This is a bit of a personal preference, but I have a hard time with games expecting you to remember 300 different combinations that you can perform. I usually end up just button mashing the crap out of my controller in those games, but the way it's limited here really just lets you utilize the stick for directions and then slash to hit. Easy, but does a big difference depending on how you aim the stick. And then having the option to fiddle with what combos to activate brings a bit of depth to it all. It's just very well done in my opinion. And on top of that, there is a bow and throwing things. I'ma call them throwing stars, but they are not throwing stars, they're like half of a star. They are some kind of samurai ninja throwing knife thing that I totally cannot remember the name of, but they are super useful sometimes. Most of the time the enemies just block those attacks, but when they don't, they really help you out in a tight situation. Motherfucker! And that's not all, folks. You also level up in this video game, and you do so by killing and destroying props in the world. And once you level up, you get 3 level points. Take those points to a shrine and use them to get stronger in the attribute that you wish to become stronger in, like increase your stamina, strength, or shield. Now the combat itself, it isn't perfect, but it more than does the job. It's leaning a bit towards the Souls-like type of combat, but not fully. Let's say that it sits somewhere between hack and slash and Souls-like, where a parry could mean life or death, but more often than not, slashing and slicing will get the job done. Now it is a bit hard learning the patterns of the enemies to get a really good flow with the combat, which is what drags it down just a little bit. But I have to say that every hit, every encounter feels. It never just feels like, oh, another enemy dead and gone. Every encounter makes you get on your toes and do your best job. And the harder the foe, the higher on your toes you go. But oh man, the bosses thus far, wowee, they can be hard to say the least. Literally one of them, without spoiling anything here, killed me in one hit. Luckily, after many tries, I managed to gather enough strength from the spirits of the samurai to actually down him without getting hit a single freaking time. Don't ask me how I did that, but somehow I did, and I would probably never ever in my whole lifetime be able to do it again. But that said, in the latest patch notes, they did increase the difficulty of the bosses in the game, and yeah, maybe tone that down just a little bit, I don't know. Now, outside of the combat, we will do some minor platforming here and there, nothing too extreme. But I have to say that overall the controls, they felt like I expected them to feel. They are not super fluid, it's not Ori and the Samurai the game, it's going for a more realistic tone, and it actually works. I was struggling just a little bit playing as the cat, that could be a bit more fluid, especially when climbing on the ledges. But still, it was nothing too major, and these platforming segments and playing as the cat, etc. actually led to me feeling like there was great variety in the game. And yeah, you get to play as one of the cutest video game cats ever. And I don't care what anyone thinks of those segments. You play it as the cutest motherflipping cat ever. It's a 10 out of 10 game, period, okay? Most of the time they are platforming and stealth segments. You have to jump and hide from monsters, which to me brings in a good variation and tempo changer to the game, just as I said. And it doesn't stop there, but I'm not going to spoil what's ahead. That's for you to find out if you decide that this game is for you. Friends, thanks a million times for watching all the way to the end. 2025 is gonna bring a lot of good stuff to this channel, so don't miss out on it. Hit that subscribe and like right now, and most of all, remember that Papa Slim loves you very much. Over and out.